السلام عليكم.
Howdy everyone.
No.
Please don't use your cameras.
Mister.
Yes?
Hello, Mister.
Hello, Mister.
Hello, Mister.
Are you doing well?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
How are you, Mister?
Doing well. So I don't want anyone to use his camera if you don't mind. And we will start and I will mute you all and then we will have like a kind of discussion. Okay?
Okay, but Mister, I am grade 7A.
Yes?
I am grade 7A.
No problem. Whoever you are, it's okay. It's
Okay.
available for everyone.
Mister, which book do you use?
We'll review a part of the grammar and we'll need a literature book. You get the idea? So please don't use your cameras at all.
Okay.
Mister, I'm grade 7A.
Please don't use your cameras at all. I don't want anyone to use the camera but I. Yes. So we can start that way. As you can see here, we will have grammar. We will review the transitional words as the thing we discussed yesterday and phrases. We'll have a kind of introduction. We'll have worksheet 1 and 2. And finally, we'll have online quiz. After that, we will be having literature, okay? And a part of the literature here will have chapter 17, as we started yesterday, but we did not finalize it. We'll have introduction and we'll have note taking, so you have to prepare your books. Yes, and finally some questions, and I can have your own questions. So let's start by the grammar to review that, okay? If you remember, I told you about transitional words. They are like linking words, joining sentences, or they are, please, I said I don't want cameras. If you don't mind, like, I don't want anyone on the camera. Thank you. Now, as I told you here, transitional words, we are like linking sentences or we are like linking paragraphs and so on, as we discussed that yesterday. The common and the famous one are the transitional words that can form compound or complex sentence. For example, the fanboys like and, or, but, so, and for the complex sentence, although, after, before, and those words that you know. Now, let's just have worksheet 1 and 2 that we started last time. Okay. I think here you can see this part, which is the famous or the common transitional words. For example, for addition, we are having all, and also besides. I showed you that yesterday, just I'm reviewing. For signaling time, we have next, afterwards, and finally, later, and so on. For order sequence, we have first, second, finally, hence, next. And for space and place, we have above, behind, below, and so on. As I told you, I'll send that PDF file for you in the groups and so on, so you can have it. So here we are having most of the transitional words, as you can see, and you should use them while you are writing, because it's just like very effective using transitional words and phrases in writing as if you are flourishing your paragraph and article. For summarize, we can say in summary, to sum up, to repeat briefly, and so on. Now, we have here that part that I discussed yesterday with you, okay? The first paragraph I discussed yesterday, even one of you, I think it was Mahallawi, start reading it and so on. So let's have another one. The second paragraph here, we are having those transitional words like when at the beginning, eventually, however, first, like you can use it twice, maybe, then, at the end, and for an instance. Just get like 2-3 minutes to decide where to add those words. And as I told you, please have a piece of paper with you and just decide where to add those phrases or words. Start, please. You have 2 minutes and I'll discuss the answer. Okay?
Mister, excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, ask.
Can I use a word more than once?
Yeah, some words like first, and then we can use more than once. Yes.
Okay.
Will you send this sheet in the group?
So,
Mister, can you send the sheet to the groups?
let's discuss the answers together. Okay. Abdullah, are you there?
Yeah.
Can you start reading if you don't mind?
The North is an excellent and disturbing film about two immigrants to the United States. At the beginning of the film, we meet a family in Guatemala, mother, father, son, and daughter.
Okay, thank you,
When the
Abdullah.
father is
I'm using here at the beginning just because it's just like the beginning of that
The
paragraph.
father is killed
Missing
and
three.
the mother is taken to the prison.
Okay,
And the son and the daughter decide to go to El Norte.
Sir, can we say first, the first answer, first, the first?
which one? Number one?
Yeah,
At the beginning of the film. You want to say first?
yeah. I wrote at the beginning, but can I say first?
Yeah, but it doesn't make sense. You get the idea? Like we are having here the idea of coherence. Should be like
Grammatically,
related.
it's correct, right?
What? No, it doesn't work here. Get the idea? Like, for
Okay.
example, some phrases they should be followed by noun, others should be followed by a sentence, and so on. So this is the part we are having here. Abdulaziz, can you start reading number 6 if you don't mind? First.
Okay. First, they have to find housing. Then they need to learn English and get jobs. Eventually, they succeed in accomplishing these 3 goals, and life looks pretty good.
Accomplishing.
Unfortunately, at the end of the film, tragedy strikes and left wondering if the man
Accomplishment.
Uh,
Accomplishing.
Okay, the idea here, as you can see, we started with at the beginning because like we are having the paragraph and so on. We have here the idea of sequence. We are using here, however, to show contrast, two opposite ideas and so on. Then for more information, and at the end here, I'm just ending the paragraph like what happened by the end of that film or movie. Okay, now let's try just online quiz together. And then we'll start literature, so just be ready. Okay. What about the first one?
شوي استنى شوي.
Okay, what do you think of the first one?
Mr.
Yes?
Can I answer the
Go
first
ahead.
question?
Go ahead.
It must be also.
Read these first. There are several ways. There are several ways to buy cell phones. You can buy them
yet or therefore.
from one company or
Yet or therefore. Yet or therefore.
لا لازم
Yes, or therefore, let's have that one. So, what about the
أنا هطلع
second
من
one?
هنا وأنت تدخل.
Mister, we can say also.
ما كتب هون
We are doing the second
أسئلة
one.
ومنحل
Read it. Abdullah.
بس ما ممكن ما أحتاجها ماما بحل
Teachers believe
لا عم نحل عنده هيك في إيميل
أنا المرة.
لا عنده هو في ورق
would you focus if you don't mind?
مكتوب بجاوب قاعد
Some cultures believe giving gifts is very important.
Although
Others believe gifts should be elaborated.
مكتوبة تحت.
although
هذا مو معانا هذا تنجيل.
Unmute only with
Sorry?
unmute only the person who answers.
Halali? Yes, what do you think?
ما فيهوش شحن 3.
Mr. Mute everyone. Make noise.
Guys, relax.
العزيز المايك تبعك.
Okay, young man. The online quiz is just easy, but we have to focus with that. You get the idea? I'll send you the link. Listen, everyone. I want you to just prepare the part for the literature. Yesterday we did one like that and it was fabulous, but please try to just focus, and I don't like that kind of noise. You get that? I'll send you more than one link for the online and it will be checked, don't worry. Now we can have literature. Yes. If you remember yesterday, I started the literature, but I did not finish it. We are having the idea of the chapter Goat's Tobacco. And I think you should prepare your books if you don't mind. I told you yesterday, like Roll's ancient half-sister brings the man she loves and so on, and she will get married to Norway for a family vacation. Yes, but the problem is the family get used to unity. They don't want anyone to interrupt that unity. Yes, so that person who's new to the family is interrupting that. So they decided to play a kind of a trick on him. And we'll see how it works. Okay, now, page 127, let's do it together. Goat's tobacco. Romance was floating in the air like moon dust, and the two lovers, for some reason, we younger ones could never understand, did not seem to be very keen on us. Tagging along with them, they went out in the boat alone. They climbed the rocks alone. They even had breakfast alone. With that part, as I told you yesterday, we are having the repetition of the word alone means here the lover or that person want to just take the sister away with the family, and the family will not accept that. Also here we are having the idea of romance was floating. There's a kind of metaphor. And also we are having, like we have a simile here describing romance to be like moon dust. So we have a metaphor and we have simile. Okay, let's continue. Okay, now the next page, if you don't mind. So everyone, you are following?
Yes.
Let's continue.
Mr.
We are doing now page 128, if you don't mind.
Page 128.
Always done everything together, and we didn't see why the ancient half-sister should suddenly decide to do things differently, even if she had become engaged. We were inclined to blame the male lover. Look at that point, they are not calling him by name, they are calling him like male lover. Yes, like male and female, like animal side and so on, for disturbing the calm of our family life, and it was inevitable that he would have to suffer for it sooner or later. We are having here the idea of being jealous. The whole family, they are jealous because that person is taking the half-sister away. And even they are calling him male lover, not even with a name. You get the idea? And they want to have their own revenge because he just broke the family unity. The revenge will start with that part here. The male lover was a great pipe smoker. That's the beginning of the trick. They decided to trick him because he is just like pipe smoker, as we will see that now. One day, we all went in our little motorboat to an island we had never been to before. And for once, the ancient half-sister and the manly lover decided to come with us. Lucky he. Okay. We chose this particular island because we saw some goats on it. So the reason they chose that island because of the goats. Now, page 129. I stared at the pipe. He's just staring at the pipe. The author will see. I saw a little heap of dried goats dropping. Oh, each one small and round like a pale brown berry. We have here a simile comparing the droppings by brown berry. And at that point, an interesting idea began to sprout in my mind. I picked up the pipe and knocked all the tobacco out of it. And then took the goat's droppings and teased them with my fingers until they were nicely shredded. So he replaced the tobacco with goat's dropping. That's funny. And look at the reaction of the family. That is important. The entire family was watching me as I did this. Nobody said a word, but I could sense a glow of approval around. Like all of them, they are approving this because they want to have their own revenge too, as that person, or as they call it, the manly lover, is taking the sister away, breaking the unity of the family. Look at these two lines. 9 pairs of eyes means the whole family, the 9 persons. 9 pairs of eyes watched him intently. Nobody told to give the game away. No one told him that there is like goats dropping in his pipe and so on. We were trembling with anticipation, like waiting to see what will happen. The manly lover put the pipe between his strong white teeth and struck a match. Now he will start to smoke. 131 now. Then all of a sudden, now he just smoked his pipe and so on, and we'll see what will happen. Then out of a sudden, the manly lover let out a piercing scream, and his whole body shot 4 feet into the air. His pipe flew out of his mouth and went clattering over the rocks. And the second scream he gave was so shrill and loud that all the seagulls on the island rose up in alarm. Of course, this is hyperbole, as you can see that. Now he just feels like he's about to die and so on, because as you see, he smoked what? He smokes what? Now, okay, do you like the smiley face? Yes, I like it too. It's funny until now. Now the manly lover is talking. I've been poisoned, spluttered the manly lover. It's got into my lungs. It's in my chest. My chest is on fire. My stomach's going up in flames. Oh my God, that's funny. After a while, he will just relax and so on. Then by the end, he's talking now. What's wrong with my pipe? Said the manly lover. You have been smoking goat's tobacco, cried the small sister. And then everyone like ran away, they escaped, and even they jumped into the water. That was the end of that chapter, and I think it is fun, like they made just a good trick on him. And the reason like he's breaking the family unity, as I told you before. Now we have a question in your booklet, if you don't mind, let's discuss it. Okay, I believe that's the part we are having about humor. Look everyone here, that question, and I will try to just highlight it somehow. Look everyone. Goat's Tobacco talks about a hilarious incident, you know, the funny one. How does Roald Dahl create a sense of humor in this chapter? So the sense of humor, I want to hear you, please, and in a good way, if you don't mind. Yes? What do you think?
By taking him.
What do you think about the sense of humor here we are having?
Can everyone please?
Sir, you should choose an order.
لا Mr. choose
By deceiving the mother.
شايف الأولاد دول بيخربوا على المستر ترى.
By deceiving the mother to make striker.
هذول الأولاد بيخربوا على المستر.
أنا مو حفلة.
Okay. Those who are raising hands, you can talk. Please, I don't have to mute everyone. Only those who are raising hands, you can talk. Yes, Hamza? Okay. Listen, everyone. The idea here of like the funny part or the hilarious part, as you can see here, I highlighted a part of it. And you can read it. Like here we are having rolled as sense of humor, rolled as silence rather than a dangerous family conspiracy. They made a kind of a conspiracy against that manly lover. And here the author decided to make the manly lover suffer as he disturbed the calm of their family. I mean the unity and so on. And we have here the idea of replacing the tobacco with the goats dropping, and it was like hilarious and funny when he started jumping and saying I was poisoned and so on. You get the idea, I think. Okay, now I think it is enough for today, and I think I'll meet you tomorrow. Yes, and if you have a kind of a comment, we'll try to make it in like proper way. So Hamza, yes.
والله طيبين الله يسلمك.
Basil, yes.
Hello, Mr.
اكيد يعني.
Mr. tomorrow we finish 10:30.
والله العظيم ما
Mr. Can you sum up the answer?
ما موضحين لانه ما يقدر يوم ما يعرفون.
Tomorrow, what time are you gonna start?